There's the record, the encoder, and we good.
Welcome. Thanks once again for hanging out with us. This is the IT and the D show. We made it all the way up to episode 387. Broadcasting live from I forgot where we're broadcasting from. Broadcasting live from our quarantined homes. This is Bob the Sales Guy. That is Dave the Geek. Randy at Do the Twitters is doing the Twitters. You can find us online at itandthed.com. Do us a favor. Give us a like on the socials. Subscribe to us everywhere. Fine podcasts are sold.
Well, and the most important thing, Bob, did you get the bread and milk?
No, because I can always Instacart it, so I didn't need to go.
Oh, so you're going to have somebody else go out in the crappy weather and get your bread and milk for you.
Right. No, as I was alluding to earlier, tonight is a night where everybody's going to be going to bed with a smile on their face because the weatherman's promising 8 inches. So we got that going for us, which is nice.
I have no segue out of that into what we're supposed to be talking. Well, no, actually, so we still haven't queued up our events yet. Although it is starting to look better. We'll see how it goes. I'm liking how. I've only been 2 places so far, but they are taking it seriously as far as capacity and all that kind of stuff, and that is always a concern.
We just have to figure out which places aren't taking it seriously. Then we'll have our events there.
Well, that's so
we can fill it.
Oh, well, that's the scary part is because we do there's a little bit of a pent up demand. We'll see how that goes.
Because then you got to wear face mask. You don't know who's who, and then you can't shake hands. I don't want any part of this.
You sit down at the table, take your mask off, and then just shout across the room at each other. That's
right. Everyone gets their own table, so it's gonna be like, capacity of 12. Sounds amazing.
I know. What are you gonna do?
What do you do?
Yeah, no, I was because
I help people with their business transformation digital solutions. No.
Yeah, no, I was chatting with Fred a little bit earlier today, and it's going to be interesting to see how the summer heading into the fall plays out. So yeah,
isn't that a sweet Caroline? And spring became the summer.
it's a thing. Well, hey, so I remember when we used to have guests every show, and we just kind of fell away from that.
One of our favorite guests are here.
I don't think we haven't had you on in a long time.
She's still one of our favorite guests.
I know. I'm just saying we just haven't had her on in forever. So it is Michelle Gilbert, no relation, from Comcast. And so, you had reached out and wanted to talk about, I'm sure everybody saw the commercials for the lift zones and that kind of stuff. But there's also the RISE grants that are going on. So I guess, why don't you tell us a little bit about what Comcast has going on? And we'll, if I have to, I'll mute Bob so he doesn't complain about stuff too much.
So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with lift zones or?
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool initiative.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you guys have been so awesome in helping us spread the word about our Internet Essentials program. And when the pandemic hit, Comcast moved quickly to do some things to really help speed up the process of getting more and more people connected to the internet. And the first thing we did is we made Internet Essentials free for 60 days for new Internet Essentials customers.
I know a number of folks in my school district because I put that info out quickly because that was the big concern that everybody had. Was, hey, I don't know if I don't have internet at home, or I don't know if it's, going to be able to keep up with it, that kind of stuff.
Right.
I know quite a few folks that signed up for it, and not a single one had anything but good things to say about it. So.
Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for telling me. And by the way, we just increased the speeds of Internet Essentials again to 50 over 5, I believe. So yeah, I think it's like the 40th time in 10 years that we've made enhancements to the program,
which is crazy. But, the 50 down 5 up is like all we need to run a studio. Like that's
right. It's a DS3 for $10 a month.
For $10 a month. Exactly. So, but through feedback that we started getting from families and from a lot of the nonprofit organizations that we worked with, we learned that despite this, there were still a lot of families for a variety of reasons that didn't have internet in the home. And so there was a need to work with these nonprofits and to provide what we're calling lift zones. They're basically robust Wi-Fi hotspots that we launch in nonprofit organizations that have like dedicated educational rooms. And these are rooms where kids can come and get online in a safe environment and do their schoolwork and do their homework. And even families that do have internet at home, a lot of families with younger kids, if their parents are working outside the home because they're essential workers, they can't leave 6 and 8-year-olds at home to do, their learning alone. So the Boys and Girls Clubs and so many other wonderful nonprofits in our city have opened their doors at 7 or 7:30 in the morning. And with our lift zones, these kids are able to literally do everything they need to do online. So they've been great investments. We started in the city of Detroit. We've launched about 20 in the city of Detroit with various nonprofit organizations. And now we are making our way across the rest of Michigan. And we are looking for more organizations that want to team up with us.
So I guess that then begs the follow-up question. What does teaming up with you entail? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, sure. So the first criteria is that you have to be in a serviceable Comcast area, which seems obvious, but I should throw that out there.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone calling and say I'm in Traverse City and we're not there. So they need to have on-site adult supervision to monitor activity during all hours of operation. Of course, they need to enforce COVID safety protocols with mask wearing and social distancing. They have to have an allocation of adequate space with chairs and computers that's conducive to learning. And they need to have IT support to ensure that the Wi-Fi can remain operational for these kids. And here's another thing that has kind of formulated from all of this that we weren't necessarily expecting. But, a lot of these nonprofit organizations also serve adults who may need internet access to go to school online, to apply for jobs.
Yeah, job searching, absolutely.
Exactly. So the Lift Zones is also helping the communities in large by helping adults who are trying to, go to school and apply for jobs. So they've been a real win-win. And it's a great program. No cost to the nonprofits, certainly no cost to the people who are using the Lift Zone Wi-Fi service. And it's just one more way we're really trying to make a difference in the communities that we serve.
Hey, Michelle, I know it seems kind of foreign for us. Not having internet at home doesn't even seem like, it's like having lights. What are the numbers these days for who doesn't have broadband in the house? Do you know?
I don't know, Bob. It's a great question. I think at one point I had heard that 40% of people in the city of Detroit didn't have internet access. And the thing that bothers me when people say internet access, they don't have access. They do have access. I guarantee you that every house in the city of Detroit is serviceable by Comcast. There's a big difference between access and adoption. So the number of homes within a city like Detroit that haven't adopted to the internet is certainly higher in a more impoverished area than in maybe a wealthier community. And that is what we are trying to change. And we're changing it through Internet Essentials. We're changing it through Lift Zones. And when you help us get the word out and help educate families by taking what I send you and letting your community members know, it really, truly does make a difference.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, I think the very first time we had somebody in to talk about Internet Essentials, I think the question is still the same is, you mentioned, because the other part of it is awareness versus adoption. Like, right. I think you guys have done a great job by this point, letting people know that this is out there, and yet there's still that adoption gap. And it's a little bit like and it's funny because like I was talking to one of our show hosts, and he's big with, like urban farming and projects in the neighborhoods and that kind of stuff. And he had no idea what Internet Essentials was.
Right.
You know, he was complaining about some of the stuff with, you know, some of the kids in the neighborhood and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, dude, there's this program. And he was like, how have I never heard about this before? I'm like, that's my question. How have you never? So, I mean, it is. I mean, it's weird that there's still an awareness issue out there after all this time.
Yeah, there is, unfortunately. And the thing is, there are a lot of different reasons. I know we've talked about this before as well, why people have not adopted. And we all assume that it's only based on price, and it's not. Certainly price is a factor. But again, you know, $9.95 a month is about as cheap as it gets before it's free. But there are other
that's
reasons.
cheaper than dial-up used to be.
Right. Very true.
I mean, for real.
Yeah. But, you know, some of the other reasons are the ability to, you know, having a computer. If you don't have a computer, why do you need internet at home? And so through Internet Essentials, we provide the capability to get.
I was going to say, you have those really good deals on the computers that are out there as well.
Exactly. $150.
Yeah. A lot of it might be too, like, you can get everything done. I think people think on mobile. Everyone's got a phone. I don't care if it's
everyone has a phone. You're right. And you can do virtually anything from your phone, but have you ever watched a child try to do his or her homework from a mobile phone?
It's impossible.
Listen, my kids have access to all the technology that they could possibly need. And my daughter was getting used to learning virtually. She had her Chromebook, and she was trying to toggle by going to the top of the screen for one section, and then she had to go all the way to the bottom. And she was getting so frustrated because it was taking her 3 times as long because the computer screen wasn't large enough. And it hit me, my gosh, if this child who has access to, you know, 3 different computers is having trouble, imagine what a child who only has a mobile phone is trying to do with his or her homework. And so that's why getting devices into these kids' hands, getting internet access in a safe environment, whether it's home, whether it's at a lift zone, so that they're not sitting outside of McDonald's trying to rely on free Wi-Fi. This is so important. And unfortunately, I mean, look, the digital divide has been around a lot longer than the pandemic. Unfortunately, it's taken the pandemic to really, truly raise the awareness that's been needed.
So has the pandemic skyrocketed the demand for what you guys are doing, obviously, because now everyone's stuck at home, you know, kids don't have anywhere to turn.
We have definitely, the Internet Essentials program has definitely seen a huge lift as a result of the pandemic. More and more people have adopted internet access in the home. And we've invested, you know, every year we invest millions of dollars in our network, but we have invested, I think we invested about 60% more just in 2020 to stay ahead of bandwidth needs. So adding capacity to the network across Michigan. And it's paid off because our customers are happy. They're, you know, we had a very strong year from an internet standpoint because people need reliable internet in the home.
Well, yeah, I think Bob and I have both joked on previous shows that it's usually either the day before or the last day of the month where we get that, hey, you've used up 100% of your data because with the kids, you know, the kids are all home. They're all, you know, because they're not just doing schoolwork. Of course, there's something streaming on the TV. There's something streaming on an iPad. There's, you know, they've got their phones going and all that stuff. So yeah, it's I'm sure your network utilization graphs have been interesting over the course of the past year.
Yeah.
Can you turn those off, Michelle? Those you've used 100% of your data. You know,
you've used more than 1 terabyte of data in a month?
Every month.
Oh, God, yeah. Every single month.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, with two school age kids.
I do too. I don't come anywhere near it.
Oh,
I think we use like 300 gig, something like that.
Well, then you have the
streaming media.
3 kids and then a 4th kid that plays Xbox and then watches Netflix and watches YouTube. And, you know, Yeah, we use it up.
So we should talk after, but you should really look at through XFi Advantage going with the unlimited option. It's very cost effective. I'll get you information on it.
I'm gonna have to now.
Yeah, I'd be curious. Yeah.
It's a pretty good deal. I'll get you information on it, and if you want to share it on your website. But through the XFi Advantage, one of the features of it is unlimited data for those people who don't want to worry and are going to exceed. And in fact, we actually just increased the terabyte to 1.2 terabyte, I believe. So, but still, if you're using that,
maybe that's why I didn't get one last month.
Maybe.
They figured out how to get more soap in soap. They gave you 0.2 more. So, another thing that caught my eye that you guys are doing are grants for small businesses.
Yeah, the RISE grants.
We've been arguing since the pandemic started that the money from the government kind of went into the wrong hands. I think it's being found out now, but you guys are kind of stepping up to the plate, which is, which I kind of hate seeing because companies are supposed to company, right? And government's supposed to government. And, we're seeing like Barstool and you guys doing stuff for small business. What's going on with is it a RISE grant? Is that what they're called?
Yeah. So there's a couple different phases of Comcast RISE. Let's start with the investment fund. So we announced last week that Detroit is one of 5 cities across the nation where Comcast is launching our Comcast RISE investment fund. We are going to give away $110,000 grants for a total of $1 million to small businesses that are either Black, Indigenous, or people of color owned. So the phrase is BIPOC owned. And you might say, well, why BIPOC owned and not just any business? And studies have showed that diverse businesses have been hit harder during the pandemic.
Very disproportionately harder. Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, when I get drunk, Michelle, I get really red. Does that qualify me?
That's your blood pressure, Bob.
Probably not.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And then you might ask, why Detroit? And there have been studies that have actually shown that Detroit has the commerce spending in Detroit is significantly lower than many other cities across the nation. So Comcast took a look at these studies and figured out, where are we based? What cities have been hit hardest? Where can we make the biggest difference? And Detroit was on that list.
That's awesome.
So it's not awesome that we were on the list, but it's awesome that Comcast has chosen Detroit. I'm really super excited about it. And the application window opens on March 1st, only goes to March 14th. Businesses can find all details at comcastrise.com. And really, they need to be in business for a minimum of 3 years. They need to have between 1 and 25 employees, and they need to be own at least 51% of the business.
This is not like a PPP loan. This is just a grant.
No. This is not a loan. This is a grant. Did I say loan? If I
no.
So
I'm just clarifying.
Okay.
No, you did. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a grant, and it's really. I don't have specific details on what the grant is used for, but it's pretty much what do you need it for? Do you need it to pay rent? Do you need it to pay heating? It's about keeping your business alive during this very difficult time.
Yeah, and there was stuff in there about like marketing services, business services, technology services, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, as you said, all the details are out on the website.
I think it's rent, and then help with rent, and then rent, and then help with rent, and yeah.
Well, and I will tell you the other pieces that you were talking about, Dave, is really phase 1 of the program, which launched nationally and is applicable for any BIPOC small-owned business across the state of Michigan. And what we started with is being able to open up and provide technology makeovers to businesses, as well as other types of services like media, creative production, general marketing consultation. And what I like about that is the money's important. The grants are absolutely important, but there are other ways that businesses can help.
Yep,
and so
absolutely.
what we're doing is we're leveraging the talents of Comcast Business and Effective, which is the advertising arm of Comcast Cable. And they are providing their knowledge and resources and guiding businesses. Because if you're a small business owner that, let's say, owns a restaurant or a dry cleaner or whatever it is, that's what you know best. Do you really know technology? Are you a tech expert? Do you know how to create a 30-second effective commercial? So we're coming in and we're helping these businesses with other areas to help them really stay alive during this time.
Very cool.
Yeah. And that's a program that is, this is a long-term commitment. You know, if look, Fauci says everyone can get the vaccine in April. Who knows if that's true or not and if that's going to happen, but eventually this pandemic is going to go away. I hope.
Yeah.
And I know everybody hopes. You know, this Comcast Rise program, we've made a commitment through at least the end of 2022, because we know that the after effects are going to be here for a long time. So we're not walking away anytime soon. And if there is a need after that, we will keep this program alive and kicking.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
we like you guys again. Yay. I'm kidding.
No, there's always good stuff when she comes on to tell us this. What else did we miss anything? What else didn't we hit?
I think we talked about most of the things. Oh, well, here's something else that I think is worth mentioning. So, you know, we have a lot of really great organizations in Detroit and really around the state. But since we're all based in Detroit, that provide workshops and, you know, key entrepreneurial learnings for small businesses. So you've got Build Institute, you've got Grand Innovations, you've got TechTown Detroit, you've got Venture Catalysts. And so what we decided to do is we've teamed up with those organizations that are already doing an awesome job with providing workshops and helping small businesses learn how to do things and giving them opportunities to connect with other small businesses. We gave each of them a $20,000 grant to go towards helping small businesses with learning. And so any small business, if you are not connected with one of these organizations, get online and figure out which one is best for you, because they provide tremendous resources and we're helping to fund some of the outstanding work that they do. When we look at a cause, we don't look at it and say, hey, we're going to take this on ourselves. We look at it and we say, all right, here's what we can do and who else can we team up with that's doing a great job? Because the more people you have working together to solve a problem, the better you're going to be at it.
Well, and again, I mean, just like the dry cleaner that may not know tech, you know, you guys, you know, okay, you may know how to set up grants, but not necessarily, you know, who in the city or around the area, you know, might be best able to use them or make use of them. So why not leverage the people that are already in there doing it?
And I don't know the perfect amount of starch on my collar. So, I mean, you know,
that's
win-win.
why you go to a dry cleaner.
Win-win. Right.
Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, so that's what we have been up to, just continuously figuring out ways that we can make a difference in our communities.
That's great stuff. I'm always happy to have these conversations and hear more about what you guys are doing. That's very, very cool.
Well, thanks for helping us, get the word out. And certainly I encourage people to visit ComcastRise.com to get more information. And it's
is it still internetessentials.com?
Yes,
for those
it is
that might
still
need that? Okay.
Yeah,
and we haven't.
Still
and I think the last 3 times you've been on, we haven't complained about a single thing, really. So I guess hats off to you all for. I think the first time you were on, it's like, okay, 20 minutes of destroy, and okay, fine, talk about internet essentials for 5 minutes. I'm glad we've gotten to this point.
It was kind of like a hazing period, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, well, we set you up for it. We said we're gonna, this is not a fluff piece. We're gonna, we're gonna yell at you. We didn't yell at you.
You didn't yell at me. You were very respectful. And listen, we've talked about this before. I mean, I remember when I started with the company, people have said, "Oh, I can't believe you're going there." And I asked people, I said, "Are we really as bad as people say?" And the truth is, no, we weren't. But it takes a long time to turn around a bad reputation. And for a long time, unfortunately, the company wasn't necessarily focused on the right things. But I will tell you, for the past 7 years at least, we have really been very focused on turning it around and spending millions and millions of dollars on all the right things: technology, investments in the network, training employees. And I've absolutely noticed a difference. I get less angry calls, less angry emails. And frankly, when you start getting people defending you, that's when you know you're doing a good job. And
no,
that's
I think,
happening now.
And then when you have companies like Spirit Airlines out there, you know that you're not going to be rated in the worst companies in America.
Right. There's always somebody that sucks more.
Yeah. Oh, we're kidding with you, Michelle. But hey, we really appreciate the time. If you ever have anything that needs to be cascaded in the future, let us know, and we'll definitely get the links out there for
happy to help.
For Rise and for Internet Essentials.
Thanks, guys, so much. It was so great to see you again.
Good to see you too. All the best. Hopefully we'll see you when things open back up.
Yeah.
That sounds perfect.
All right.
All right.
Cheers.
Take care.
All right. It's Michelle Gilbert, VP of PR from Comcast. They don't give us a dime. We just like her. Just for the record. You were supposed to hang up. We were going to trash
but if they want to, we won't say no.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, as you say, why y'all are writing grants? If you're throwing them out there, we'll listen.
Yeah. So we have 10,000. Again, this was one of those weeks where we probably could have done 3 shows this week.
Yeah.
I don't know do we want to start at Gina Carano? That seems to be flooded.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean Cara Dunn?
Done? No, I'm kind of heated up about this, and I'm not heated up because I get it. I'm fully aware that I just get angry when I see stuff like this, and then you see things like Pedro Pascal making mention of the Holocaust. Here, let me start by this: mentioning the Holocaust. Nothing good can ever come of it. Period. I don't care if it's with, for, against, sideways. Just don't even mention it. So one, stupid on Gina Carano's part. Like, why even go that route? Nothing good can come of it. But then when you see Pedro Pascal did it, and he did it with a wrong meme too. He did 1944 and then 2014 or whatever. But he used like a picture of like the from Palestine, like kids in a soup kitchen or something.
Yeah,
but he makes mention of it, and then you have a producer from Disney that's like, "Oh yeah, mega hat, put him head first in the wood chipper," who's still employed. We always talk about consistency, and that's my feeling here. If you're going to do it, be consistent. Don't pick and choose just because. And here, hold on, I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'll shut up. This whole thing stems from Carano mocking pronouns because someone said, "You don't have your pronouns up, Gina," and she made something like beep boop bop or some shit, and kind of push your politics.
That's not where it started, but okay.
And then that's where the hashtag Fire Gina Carano crap started. And she pushes her politics more than she probably should.
Well, so there's the difference in those other situations that you were mentioning. So Pedro Pascal, did something. What was it? A year or two ago?
A couple years ago.
Yeah, did something dumb, deleted it, hasn't done anything like that since then. Gina Carano, on the other hand, there are numerous reports and numerous sources that Disney has told her, look, you got to knock that shit off. Look, you got to knock that shit off.
Yep. And I didn't add that, but I was, no, I know that.
You got to knock that shit off. So, and I hate because here's the thing. This is not cancel culture. This is you're being held accountable for shit. So and again, it's the same thing. We talked about this, in a number of circumstances. If your employer, especially if you're an employer if you have an employer in a situation where you likely have a morals clause in your contract, as many entertainment contracts do, not only are you living and working in an at-will employment world, but you make it easier for them when they say things like, hey, what you're putting out there makes the company look bad because you're on one of our biggest properties. You really need to stop that. And then you choose not to do so, and you choose to continue moving that forward. I have no sympathy for her whatsoever.
Well, I mean, you have no sympathy. The actual company, though, films a movie like within miles from an actual concentration camp. Like, you read stuff like that and then you're like, really? That's my whole take, is like, they're supposed to have a morals clause, yet they film Mulan like literally from miles away from an actual concentration camp where they're killing people today. It's one of those things where you're bitching about Nike having morality, and then you're wearing the shoes made by someone that made $1.10 this week.
Right.
Again, and that's my, I'm not apologizing for Gina, because if someone told me to stand down at whatever employer I was at, because I couldn't post this stupid political meme or whatever, I'll be damned if I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? Because I get that you're reflective of the company and the image and all that crap, but when the shit's tarnished on those ends too, it makes it difficult. I think it's my conspiracy theory is it's for the toy collectors got her fired so they can run up a price on her dolls.
They never actually even released them. They never even got made. That was part of that was one of the stories.
I thought they did. I thought Black Series got released.
No, they canceled them pre-manufacturing.
I thought it was from Hasbro Pulse, but I thought that some got released.
I'm not going to lie. That was my first thought, too, as I went and looked and saw if they were out, because I knew they were going to skyrocket if they were. I mean, I guess the moral of the story is, kids, just remember that freedom of speech does not mean freedom from accountability or freedom from repercussions. That's, we're seeing that more and more. I mean, just look at all of the people, that are being arrested and charged, over the stuff from the Capitol back on January 6th. That's still going on. And they are very committed to continuing to find people. So, yeah, I mean, just be aware of what you're saying and who you're saying it to, especially. And I mean, dude, that's the crazy thing is how lucky is she? And I'm not discounting, all of her years of hard work with MMA and her and I'm not discounting that, but how lucky to land yourself in what is basically the goddamn property that has saved Star Wars, that has finally unified Star Wars fans after, all the bullshit about the prequels and the sequels and everything else. And you're going to go and screw that up? Like,
no, the joke was she's working alongside Bill Burr and she's the one that got fired. Like,
I know, how crazy is that?
Right. I don't know. But then, like, supposedly
she's going off to film a movie with some super right-wing people, and I hear they're going to call it Xenophobia Warrior Princess.
It's Ben Shapiro. I don't know if he's super right-wing, but like, more people are going to watch that movie. More people are going to watch The Fish Tank at Louis' Pet Store than a movie by Daily Wire or whatever the hell he runs.
Right. Yeah. So not smart. So you know what? A lot of people watched, though, was this Free Britney thing from the New York Times. I'm not going to lie. I tried to watch that shit. I couldn't. It took me 15 minutes, man. And I'm just sitting there going, I got to turn this shit off. So I'm going to say this is, so I actually walked through this. I walked through this with the Trash Pandas girls on Friday night. And I said it to them before we were on the air. I said it while we were on the air, and I'll say it again. I'm floored at, so South Park, the Britney's New Look episode I thought did a far better job of crucifying the paparazzi than this documentary did. And that was released back in 2008.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I barely remember that.
12 years old and did an amazing job. Because I mean, that's the thing. So I mean, the doc itself, it's not bad. Dude, that's such a painful watch, dude. Well, it's a painful. Well, it's a painful watch for a couple different reasons. One, they focus on a couple of podcasters an awful lot, which I mean, it's cute, but that could have been a shorter part of that documentary. But watching what happened to her, and basically watching how, and this was the focus of that South Park episode, basically how the media made her insane for all intents and purposes. And then you couple that with what her dad has done to her, and what her dad is continuing to do to her with this conservatorship. It's kind of crazy. And
hasn't she made more money in Vegas,
dude? So that's the
like
thing.
than her whole career combined.
So how can she be mentally unfit and unable to run her whole life if she can do all of these shows? And dude, she was banking $1 million a week.
Isn't she 40 now?
$1 million a week. I don't know. Probably. Maybe.
She's got to be close to 40.
So thinking back, 92, Ed McMahon, she was 10 years old. 82, so she's probably 38. Randy, are you fact checking me?
Yeah.
No, I am. She's 39. You're wrong.
Yeah, I knew she was just a few years old.
2021. So yeah, okay.
Fact check false.
Okay, somewhat true, but no. So okay, so yeah, so and that's the thing, and and I got into it with a couple people about the Justin Timberlake stuff, and while I think it's good that he came out the other day and issued an apology to both her and Janet Jackson,
kind of,
because he was getting but so here's the thing.
What kind of apology is it now though? Just because
because it wasn't. He didn't say what he was sorry for, or
no, I mean he did. He basically said, "Hey, look, I didn't realize it at the time that this is what was going on. That that basically I was getting propped up because other people were getting slammed down. I don't want that to be a thing, and I didn't realize that it was because of how things are set up, and that was." The conversation I got into a couple times was the thing to remember, kids, is that anytime there's a documentary, there is a production bias. There is a message or a story that whoever is making it is trying to tell, as anyone who has ever watched a Michael Moore documentary is well aware of.
No, anyone that we talk about this all the time. Like I threw stats out and they're like, well, what are you saying? I go, I'm not saying nothing. What I've learned is you can throw the number 10 out and you got 10 people with 10 different stories.
Yep. So, so that's the thing. And so like the whole thing with Justin Timberlake in that documentary, I kind of took exception to, because it threw him severely under the bus, really cast him in a negative light. Only showed the negative clips, didn't show any of the positive interviews he did about her and that kind of stuff. And more importantly, folks, let's remember they were both basically teenagers. I mean, like this was a high school breakup. And God forbid anybody judge me by how I handled the situation if I got dumped or cheated on in high school.
How many child actors, musicians, whatever, I can count on one hand that are decent right now?
Right.
I mean, you look at like Bieber's probably the most sane, and we thought he was going to be the most crazy.
Well, yeah, but I'm sorry, is he still a Jesus freak this week? I wasn't. I haven't been tracking.
I don't keep up with him. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know what the media tells me to think.
Right.
I don't really.
Yeah. But no. So I mean, I did. I thought that was really weird. And then and then here's the flip side of that is I said, you look at all of the social media commentary that's going on. There are I was seeing about a 10 to 20 to 1 ratio of people bitching about Justin Timberlake. And, oh, my God, you have to watch this documentary to see what a dick he is, as compared to, oh, my God, what she's going through with her father and the paparazzi and everything else is terrible. You should go watch this documentary. So to me, they threw that in there in order to be that, that fire clip to go ahead and get people to watch.
Let me paint a picture. It's Saturday. It's 11:30. You just had your second cup of coffee. Life is great. And you hear about this atrocity with Britney Spears. You read about it on the Twitters. And so what do? You go grab some poster board and some yardsticks, and you write #Free Britney. Then you go out to the corner on the street with 20 of your friends, and you stand out there all day. And then...
Well, and you know what I found interesting was...
Now you don't want to... Hold on. Now, who's weirder? Like I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, and so
that's what creeped me out about the thing. It wasn't necessarily what Timberlake or any of them did. It's the people that are like, free Britney.
Oh, dude, the people that went all Da Vinci Code on her Instagram posts were really making me laugh. That was interesting. But So here's the thing, and I did actually like the fact that when they interviewed, there was the one lady they interviewed who basically said, look, because they asked her, they were like, okay, so what if you really are crazy? What if none of what you, because you've got her dad coming out saying they don't really know what the hell's going on. They're just idiots. This is all a big conspiracy theory. It's a joke, yada, yada. And so they asked her, they're like, well, what if he's right? And she's like, well, then we're right. Or then he's right. And, but here's the thing. Just have Britney say that. Just let her come out and say, you know what, guys, I'm good. You don't need to worry about free Britney. Like, I'm okay. And then we'll shut up and go away. But then as the couple of statements that she did make, that she really enjoyed the support of her fully informed fans and that kind of stuff, just kind of fueled the fire. And so you know what, they were kind of onto something, dude.
She's 40. Leave her alone. Let her play Vegas.
Are we going back to leave Britney alone?
Yeah, leave Britney alone.
Where's that guy? That's right. Where was
that circle?
Guy? Yeah, where was that guy?
Circle.
He's a gay porn star now.
Of course he is.
Can we talk about Gorilla Glue finally? I'm tired of talking about Britney.
Are we going to go to Gorilla Glue next?
The memes have been amazing. If you've been living under a rock, somebody used Gorilla Glue. A woman used Gorilla Glue as shampoo.
Well, no, it wasn't shampoo. It was like there is a product out there, and I forget what it's called off the top of my head.
There is a type of product called hair glue.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a fixative to keep your hair in place.
There is my favorite meme was the Trojan Fusion made with real Gorilla Glue.
Yeah,
condom 3-pack. Yeah.
But no, so she did, and then go figure, couldn't get it out, and started posting stories on TikTok about this. People were getting more and more concerned. They were offering her up suggestions on how to maybe get out of it. She wound up going to the ER. They tried acetone, which wound up burning her scalp, and all it did was make the Gorilla Glue soft for a little bit. So apparently now it is all gone out of her hair, and I'm sorry. This is the part that concerns me. She now has a management team and an agent.
And a lawyer.
And a clothing line. And a lawyer. And so, like, at what point... When did the people that were like the headline or the front page of the tabloid stories, like when did, like, I don't understand why we keep glorifying this behavior and allowing it to be glorified. Like, let's be real.
Because she probably got followers on TikTok from it. Like,
I'm sure, but this was dumb. This is the kind of situation that you should duck out of public sight.
But if you have followers, Dave, you have followers. It doesn't matter.
But you should be embarrassed that you did this. You should.
It doesn't matter. She's got followers now. Now you can sell socks and shit.
She's selling her own line of hair products.
And $50.
She raised $23,000 on GoFundMe to help this. But she is giving $20,000 of it to a nonprofit that does reconstructive surgery in developing nations. So she's keeping what she needs to deal with the problem and giving the rest away. So that's
cool. But still, like, this is not, it goes back to the Paris Hiltons, the Kim Kardashians, I'm sorry. Did the McDonald's coffee is too hot lady get an agent? And
she would today on social media.
Well, that's the sad reality.
If she posted it on TikTok and everybody followed her,
I don't get it.
No glue shampoo is going to be a thing on your shelves next week. Speaking, you know what else is stupid? So we talked to, you know what else is stupid? So Aunt Jemima's not Aunt Jemima anymore.
But it still says Aunt Jemima?
But it still says Aunt Jemima on the box.
Yeah, isn't it Pearl Milling Company?
Pearl Milling.
Yeah.
And it says Aunt Jemima on the bottom part in smaller font.
Yeah, it says new name, same great taste, Aunt Jemima. I'm assuming that part will eventually go away once people learn the new brand name.
But it still says it on the box.
Oh, and I did forget with the Gorilla Glue. Of course, there was a Gorilla Glue challenge that started floating around on TikTok, and some moron Gorilla Glued a Solo cup to his lip. and of course could not get it off, and of course had to go to the ER, and was stunned that was a thing. Like that I again, this is. It's the Tide Pod thing again. Like what? Like I never had to be told don't put Gorilla Glue in my hair. Like I just instinctively knew.
And if you did,
that was a bad thing.
And if you did, you got it cut out and you got made fun of for 2 weeks at school.
Oh yeah, dude.
And it was it.
Gum in your hair. And you remember that one back? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or people who were messing up their lungs from the cinnamon challenge.
Yep.
Yeah, the kid that had lice. Now everyone's got lice. You know, whatever.
And your nickname is Nits at the high school reunion 20 years later. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's Skid. But in better news, though, the greatest hangover cure in the history of mankind is coming back. That was taken away from me.
I was wondering why you were so excited about this, and I forgot that was a thing.
That was totally a thing. McDonald's Orange High C is like hands down the greatest. Anyone that's been hungover and has drank this stuff, like you would go and get 2 larges and your hangover would be gone in 15 minutes.
See, I was just, dude, the McDonald's Coke was always just a great.
Nope, High C was better.
We used to get big 5-gallon coolers of this when I was in high school marching band. Like they'd give you a jug of the concentrate, you'd pour it in the cooler and fill it with ice and water. Certain individuals may or may not have drunk just straight concentrate at one time or another.
It's good for you.
So it burns.
No.
Allegedly.
Anything concentrate burns. Can I bitch about a local municipality, by the way?
I don't know. Are we going to talk about the cat lawyer?
Oh.
Can we talk?
No.
Dude, I'm sorry. This was the craziest, funniest shit. Like I truly want to thank whoever leaked that video, because somebody was like, oh my God, that can't be real. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like all of these municipal courts that are doing all this stuff via Zoom these days, I believe the requirement is they all have to be recorded, and I believe a lot of them have to be live streamed. All
of them have to. Yeah, I'm part of the city council meetings that all are publicly are able to attend. So here's the judge says you may have a filter.
Well, I think the judge was trying to.
Right. But then the guy's like, no, I'm trying to change it. And then he drops I can assure you I'm not a cat. Like, we've established that, bro. Like,
well, it's just because, I mean, like we've all dealt with lawyers. And I mean, like lawyers in many cases tend to be very reserved. And you know, and you don't want to piss off the judge. You don't, you know, and so I just love that was a thing, and I thought it was amazing. So
like
deal with it.
No, again, use that for fame. Now you're gonna, that's gonna cheat. You look so you could not look any stupider, Randy. By the way,
are you sure?
I'm glad I don't know. This whole time I haven't been paying attention because I'm trying to figure out how to do it. And I'm not going to.
It's a good. See, my favorite has always been the Max Headroom background, and then where are they? With the Max Headroom shades, like those. That's always been my kind of go-to.
Don't ever do that again.
All right, so High C, hangover cure, cat lawyer.
I want to know. Can someone explain to me? There's a rich city that in between all of us, with the name of,
is it Birmingham?
Birmingham, yeah, and
Robert, it's Birmingham.
And Birmingham it's a bitch to park on the main street. If you ever parked on Old Woodward,
it's atrocious.
Sucks.
It's absolutely atrocious.
So I still have one crutch left. I'm almost a normal walking human being. And I don't have a handicap thing. It wouldn't have mattered. And every block.
I think you might have let Michelle off the hook too quickly. You're breaking up really bad, bud.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. I don't know why. Because stubborn crowd, I did not get a handicap placard. I have a business meeting in downtown Birmingham. Every 5th spot, there's a sign, moped parking only.
What?
Moped, not motorcycle, not bike, moped.
Why?
I don't know. And I happened to ask we went to Churchill's, which is always a good bastion of, cranky old men that tell it like it is. And I go, you got to explain to me what moped parking means. And he goes, dude, it's Birmingham. It's like this 65-year-old, guy that just brought out my scotch. But apparently they've overtaken, it looks like 25% of the parking on Old Woodward is for mopeds in the snow. And they're empty spots. You can't park there.
It looks like they added these in 2018. They added 27 moped parking spots so that they didn't park on sidewalks.
You want to incentivize people to not drive vehicles and use mopeds.
And they're all empty. So you have empty parking spots up and down Old Woodward. And it's this moped. So like, I don't like if I have a Ninja or like a motorcycle, can I park there?
Well, I mean, it's not a moped, Bob. So no.
What's a Vespa? Who drives a When's the last time you saw a Vespa on the road?
I mean,
or a Spree.
The last Vespa I saw was Princess from Space.
Right. I mean, you ever see a Spree?
No.
Right. Junior high is the last time I saw a Spree.
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
And they sit, and they wonder. They sit at these city council meetings. They think this is a good idea.
And again, now I feel bad that again, we always say we want to be in the boardroom when these stupid decisions get made. I feel bad that we didn't know that meeting and that discussion point was going on, so we could have chimed in.
No, I would have joined. So all I've been talking about probably for the last 30 years is if I get FU money, and I'm talking serious FU money, I'm just gonna buy random billboards around town, like me taking a poop, like pictures of my deal, like something, or just the word poop on a billboard for like a month. I think that would be great. I just think it'd be a great use of my money after I paid off charities and took care of family. This get the leftover at the end.
It's play money. It's monopoly money. Yeah.
We should have asked Michelle about. Apparently, a 90-year-old man bought 2 full-page ads in the Wall Street Journal to bitch about his internet service
for 2 days. Yeah, to bitch about his AT&T and how slow his internet connectivity was.
Right. Did he mention that he bought dial-up and it's a 10-year-old product?
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's 90. What
I mean,
they said the basic package.
Yeah, the estimated cost is about it was $10,000 on those 2 ads. Dude, you could have paid for broadband for you're 90 the rest of your life, like the
rest of your life.
Yeah,
but he went out and bought the ads to bitch about service, which I think he should go down in the record books. Like, he's my people. Like, this is one of us. Spend his money frivolously about something stupid that could have been fixed the easy way.
He was paying for what, 3 megabits, waiting for fiber. Like, why didn't he upgrade to something in between? Like, there's a huge range of products between 3 megabits and fiber.
Well, but the thing is like, and I know a lot of people that have AT&T right now that are basically, they're bitching quite a bit about this because they keep getting promised, oh yeah, fiber's, it's on its way, it's going to be neighborhood, and so they don't upgrade because, well, why go through that twice? They tell you it's going to be there in 3 months. And then it's another 3 months, and then another 6 months, and then whatever. I know a lot of AT&T customers that are pretty like the one. I think the one story I read, the guy's annoyed because so basically AT&T fiber stops on the other side of the street that he lives on. Like, one side of the houses has access to fiber, but the other doesn't. Dumb shit.
Fiber to the curb. That was the problem with AT&T is. They build it as you're getting direct fiber to the home connection, and it's clean. You're getting 100% of the bandwidth that's delivered to your house. So you're getting a shared pipe with Comcast. You're getting clean with AT&T, and that's all bullshit because it's fiber to the curb, and there's a choke point at the curb.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember us having those conversations back then. Dude, I love. Speaking of our people, whoever it was in the state of Texas that's in charge of their Amber Alert system, that apparently let the test message go out not once, not twice, but 3 times, indicating that Chucky had absconded with son of Chucky. and their people needed to be on the lookout. I'm sorry. I do not believe that was a test message that went out 3 times. I believe that was somebody high and making themselves laugh 3 times.
It was Seed of Chucky, which was part 3, I believe.
Yeah, it was his kid. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's no way that this was a mistake.
Not 3 times. No.
But like, again, to do that, like, are you just trying to like make your buddies laugh? Like to get to the point where it's even ready to draft mode, like you got to go through a lot of steps to get that in draft mode.
Oh yeah, like
to push the shiny red button to launch it
again
3 times,
not twice, but 3 times. Yeah.
He probably wanted to get fired. He's probably the job's probably just a living hellhole.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. Oh, you shot a note across that just said 8,000 on LinkedIn. I had no idea.
Oh, yeah. Our LinkedIn, our members group, we finally hit 8,000 members on LinkedIn. I've been counting it down for a while. People are still joining up by the dozens. I try to delete as much of the sales crap as I possibly can. But yeah, 8,000 members in Metro Detroit, all IT. So it's kind of, yeah, cheers to that. Like I said, if anyone's out of state or out of country, or if they're not in IT, like if they're life insurance or, money management, nothing against it, but just trying to keep the group clean.
Just not what it was there for.
Finally got to 8,000. So I think that's pretty cool.
So did you see the story? Did you read the story about the doctor in Texas and the vaccines?
God, there's so many of those stories coming out. Which one is this one?
So this is the guy who he was at basically a vaccination drive. And they, had gone through almost everybody. Time was almost up at the event. Somebody else showed up. And so one of the nurses pulled one of the other ampules out, pierced it. And you only have, X amount of hours to use that vaccine once that protective coating has been pierced. And so, they vaccinated the person that showed up. As the event was winding down, he was like, he went to basically everybody who was there at the event, running the event. Well, of course, they had all been vaccinated. Started talking to, the firefighters, the cops, and those kind of folks that were around. They had either already been vaccinated or had already decided they didn't want to be vaccinated. So they were out. And so his biggest concern became, I don't want this, because then he said he, had talked with, his directors and that kind of stuff. And the biggest priority was get shots in arms, get the vaccine out into people. And so, he, with like an hour left in usable time on this vaccine. And he said, he's like, I know by the time he had gotten back to the office, he would have had to throw it away. Because you can't refrigerate it. You can't refreeze it. It's just not stable beyond that time frame. And so he just started like calling people out of it, and he wound up with, an elderly couple that both were actually on the list of people to be approved to get vaccinated because they both had, overwhelming health conditions and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, long story short, he used the 9 other vaccine, because there's 10 in one of those ampules. He used the 9 other vaccine shots on just anybody he could get a hold of. And then 3 days later, he got called into HR and got fired for doing so.
Supposed to throw him away?
Apparently that's the thing. And and he found out about it when basically like the news crews started showing up and that kind of crap. And that's when he started noticing something was going on. And I've looked to see if there's more to this story or not. I haven't seen anything come out contradicting his version of events. And he said, one of the things that was most concerning is why the red flag got raised for them, because he like all of the vaccine, like they have to be logged. You have to have like name, address, all that fun stuff.
So not like voting.
Right. Jackass. Yeah, great. Now you're going to get us flagged as, anyway. And so they said there were a large number of Indian sounding names on that last vaccination record, and that's what triggered them to take a closer look at it.
American Indian or Indian?
Indian. He's okay. a gentleman from India. And so, they were like, oh, well, we didn't know if you just like pocketed one, because they accused him of stealing. and accused him of theft. And so that's just shitty. I mean, as hard, especially right now, dude, the story just broke today that you've got Beaumont that had to cancel appointments for the second round of the second vaccine dose because they just had the doses haven't showed up. Things got cut back, and so just knowing. So no, you don't want them wasted. No, you don't want them misappropriated. But the way that, and like I said, I haven't seen anything that counteracts his version of events or contradicts his version of events. With all of that in mind, I can't fathom why that was a bad thing.
Well, it was only 10. It's not like it was 10,000.
It was 9 because, like I said, they used the first one at the vaccination drive, and then he had to get rid of 9.
You're gonna hear these stories. You're gonna hear these stories all spring.
Oh, I'm sure. I loved the story about the AI that was given headshots of men and women, and then told to fill in the rest of the picture. Apparently, it filled in all the men were wearing suits and ties. All the women were wearing bikinis or slutty attire.
That's bananas. How did the AI learn?
Well, and so that's what they said. They go back and take a look at the pictures that were in the sample size and all that kind of stuff, and figure out, was there a learning bias, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's we talked about that AI that Microsoft released that made it 24 hours before it became the most deranged, racist, foul spewing, thing. Whatever. Yeah. It's found it interesting that that's still a thing.
So maybe, it says scientists, so it's got to be real. But apparently scientists found a portal to the 5th dimension.
Okay. So this was misleading. Like I was super excited to click and read this article, and they haven't discovered anything. They have put forth.
But it said they found it.
Okay. But they have put forth a theory that says the 5th dimension probably maybe exist, which would help us explain dark matter, because we don't have any explanation for dark matter whatsoever. But if we theorize that this other thing is out there, then cool. Now,
but it started in 1999 though, like right after Prince released his song, then it started.
Hey, and I'm just saying, that's how they discovered things like Pluto. That's how because sometimes you can't see things, and so you theorize based on their interactions with things you can see. I was a little disappointed to read that they had not actually discovered jack shit, and it was just a theory. That was
But it says scientists are pretty sure they found that, which means it's true.
Right, and it's on the internet, so it's doubly true.
It's Popular Mechanics, and it says science, so it's real.
I got nothing. What do you want from me?
You know what is real though, and I need to talk about this because no, it's not me. I'm not going around in war and pooping in people's cars.
I don't believe it is not you. That you were actually my first thought, because it's at car dealerships, no less.
And I got some class. I wouldn't poop in a 2009 Town and Country. I'd at least do it
2021.
Yeah, at least with the fresh seats and the leather.
Well, and I'm trying to remember, was it Warren or was it Livonia that had the playground pooper? Like
Livonia.
Okay, that was Livonia. Okay, I could remember. Maybe we had like a copycat, or maybe the playground pooper has gotten out of jail and moved.
And a guy I used to work with tells a story on how when he was a child, pooped on the top of the slide to see what would happen.
I want to know how they consider 2 incidents a serial pooper. Like,
well, I mean, if you kill 2 people, you're a serial killer.
Are you?
If the incidents are spread apart in time and yada yada, yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like a few too many to be considered serial. Like at least 3. Plot.
And like if you see somebody walking out of a car, kind of like pulling out their butt crack, that's stuck a little bit, would you call the cops? Like, you didn't know he took a dump in there. Or are they asking for the public's help?
I'm sorry. If I see somebody getting out of a car pulling up their pants, I'm probably going to ask a question or two.
No one asked me. I changed in the parking lot many, many times.
Okay, no, but this is at a dealership. So you see somebody in a car that is on your lot that is for sale, and you see them getting out of one of those vehicles, pulling up their pants. yeah, you might want to ask a question or two.
I mean, I was at a hotel and a professional wrestler asked me what I was doing.
That was, that was at a con. Yes, Bob. That was, yes, we all remember that Sting saw you partially clothed. And I'm sure he still remembers to this day when he.
I kept my underpants on. I'm not weird.
Oh, we talked about Mandalorian. How you digging the latest episode of WandaVision?
Oh my god.
So,
oh my god.
I have slight issue. Maybe I don't. No, just like now, Vision has a conscience now. Like all up until this point, he was kind of moot to the point of where he was as a human being. And now he becomes aware that this is a little weird. I don't hate it. I think it's great. And I'm sure it'll give me the payoff will be next episode or whatever. I think it's brilliant what they've done with
the next episode. Well, yes, because the next episodes, the next 3 or 4 of the last episodes, they're all going to be an hour long.
Okay.
I read that somewhere.
Yeah, I can't get enough. And it's totally unbelievable that Asian guy beat up anyone. I saw him throw that punch. And I'm like, that's such bullshit.
There is a whole thing
going
FBI
around. Agent.
Yeah, did you see the way he threw that punch? He was like,
whole thing going around now, lobbying for him to be like the new X-Files, and I'm here for it. Like I'm all about him and Kat Denning just go side by side and there's your X-Files 3.0. Bring it.
Well, he's a super cool character.
7 seasons of a show that was pretty much exactly that, set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, but I got bored with it after the 4th episode, and so stopped watching it. So
which one, Randy?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh yeah, I didn't like it either.
Yeah,
oh my god, it's amazing.
I tried.
That's what people said about Game of Thrones too. Meh.
Yeah. You know what's hot garbage though? When I say hot garbage, I mean microwave hot garbage. When I mean hot garbage, this is probably, I gotta watch it just because I have to. Justice League.
The new, and I realized, and I am so sorry. I realized that I forgot the word trailer.
Yeah.
When I sent the email,
I got angry at you. I'm like, I assumed. Like Justice League drop, I go to watch it. I'm like, just a trailer, you jack off.
Sorry.
What a turd! What a pile of absolute horrific shite. And then to add a cameo out of a movie, a toilet cameo to boot, get out of here with that mess.
I don't know what this is trying to do. Are they trying to save? Are they trying to reboot? Are they trying to? Why is this happening?
You got rid of the bad guy. You got a better bad guy. Because the first movie kind of sucked, Randy. That's probably why.
Darkseid was not, or excuse me, Steppenwolf was not supposed to be the bad guy,
because he was born to be wild.
He was born to be wild. Yes, thank you, Bob. For the nobody under the age of 30 gets that joke.
It was supposed to be Solomon Grundy too.
Solomon Grundy,
way better movie.
And bring back Apache Chief while you're at it. Why not?
Yes.
But no, so it was supposed to be Darkseid, and there was supposed to be a lot, and so like that, there were all these rumors, kind of like with the sequel movies from Star Wars, that there was these there were these cuts out there that made them so much better and yada yada. And I remember I don't even think Justice League was out before the Snyder Cut hashtags and shit started trending, because people were just already angry about it, that there was,
and then to make it black and white. You can eat my black and white shite.
Honestly, that's one of the issues that that's one of the things I have with the DC movies in general, is they tend to be dark. And I don't mean from an emotional standpoint. I mean, they're shot for shit in dark, like it's like they're all shot at midnight. And
then you give them all frowny faces on the second one.
Yeah. And then you gotta jack the brightness up on your TV to actually be able to see shit. Yeah.
And then you bring Jared Leto back, who was the absolute turd Joker. He doesn't even register. He's top Jokers of all time.
He wasn't the first or second. He was the turd.
No, he was not French Canadian. He was not French Canadian. No, he was awful. He was awful in Suicide Squad. It ruined that whole movie.
I was not there were a lot of things that made that movie suck, Bob. Jared Leto was just one of them. Let's be clear.
What, did they all assembled within 30 seconds and the universe is going to die in 30 seconds after that, and they all happen to just be there.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, but yeah. So I mean, so the and it is. I believe they're still planning on 4-hour-long episodes instead of
I'm gonna
one.
watch it, but just so I can make fun of it.
Oh,
I'm gonna watch it too,
dude. I'm gonna watch it out of spite. Like just because I want to be able to say, okay, and I do. I feel bad because I feel like I'm walking into it with the wrong attitude because I already know that when I'm done watching it, I want to be making fun of people that demanded that this be released.
No, and just watch. I'm gonna throw this curveball out there. We all love it. It's gonna be amazing.
That's my.
It's gonna be the movie we were all wishing, hoping for.
That's my fear.
It's gonna have to pull a whole lot of magic out of thin air to do that.
Well, I mean, are they gonna have Mark Zuckerberg, Lex Luthor? I mean, it's got to end different. The whole thing's got to be different. Why didn't they just make another one?
Well, and that's we talked about that. Why if you're so unhappy with it, it's not like there isn't it because let's be real, they probably spent just as much restoring this cut and getting the extra scenes done and all that stuff as they would have spent to just make another one.
There's a whole lot of fanboys going, all right, just do 7, 8, and 9 now while you're at it. Give the keys to Favreau and Filoni. Just do it. Get it done. Do it.
And there's that whole rumor that the Ahsoka spinoff series is going to retcon 7, 8, and 9 because of the whole arc in was it Clone Wars or Rebels? The world between worlds.
Yeah. Rebels.
That was right. Yeah. Because Ahsoka basically, it's not a spoiler at this point because it's been out forever. Ahsoka dies when she confronts Vader, Anakin, and realizes that it's him. Ezra winds up using this world between worlds thing to go back in time and retrieve her. And there was that whole, and then you've got the whole parallel universe thing with Padme and the evil Padme and all that crap that, never really got explored and all that stuff. And was that what that was supposed to be? So, I mean,
hey, Superman can fly the reverse axis and bring people back from the dead
and then
whatever.
Go backwards. Right. Just let it be a thing.
Just fly that way. It's kind of like going reverse Ferris Bueller in the Ferrari and hoping the miles go back.
Right. Hey, so have you built your Clapper account?
Crapper?
No, Clapper. That's one of the many services that apparently have already banned QAnon that we've never heard of.
I don't like replying to our thing, but it's almost saying, I'm here. Look at me. I'm here. I banned them too.
Yeah.
Look, sign up for me. I'm good.
Vero yesterday or the day before for the first time in forever. The most recent Friends activity is from 2018.
Yeah. So yeah, I just thought it was funny that there was apparently there's a social media service called Clapper, and do you have to clap on and clap off?
We banned them. No, we did too. Oh, guess what? IT and the D bans.
We banned QAnon.
We banned QAnon from all of our events.
Already banned. No,
we did it too.
Well, except for Bob, because Bob still likes to talk about conspiracy theories. But
I love conspiracy. That doesn't mean you're weird.
I love conspiracy theories. You know this about me.
You like it more than I do.
Sometimes.
I just like the dumb ones.
That's the problem.
You want to feel old?
No.
I hate feeling old. These stories come out, it seems like every year now.
Friends don't tell friends that 1980 was 41 years ago.
Yes. So apparently Tim Allen, I loved Home Improvement.
I saw this, yeah.
He was 38 in season 1 of Home Improvement. JTT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, just turned 39 this year. So he's a year older than Tim Taylor was. Yeah. On season 1.
Well, that was Mark Hamill was older than Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I knew.
Yeah,
well, it was always when Machio was older than Pat Morita.
Yep.
That's when that shit all started. And then now, just when these come out, I'm like, I hate you.
Yeah, no, that's a thing. And then on the social media front, apparently Parler is allegedly back up and running, sort of, kind of, maybe, based on the story I read. So, like, if you had, like, I guess they saved their account database, but nothing else. So you can log in if you had an account, but there's no content. None of the old content is there. It's all wiped clean. And new users, they're thinking maybe sometime next week could start signing up for it and yeah, but
and then
does anyone care? Like I feel
they
like
keep talking about it. Let's quit talking about it.
Yeah, true. Good point. Dude, I have to admit to a certain level of admiration for the police departments out there who have decided that if they don't want what they're doing live streamed, they just have to start playing copyright protected music. Because all of the streaming services that are out there, whether it's Facebook, everywhere else, have all these bots that as soon as copyright protected music is detected, it immediately shuts down the stream and removes the recording. So I granted, it's kind of like, okay, well, why are you turning off your body cams if you have nothing to hide? Why are you doing this if you're not trying to hide anything?
The fact that they figured that out, like, pretty brilliant. So
I said, dude, I'm not even really mad about it. Like I'm kind of impressed that somebody figured it out. And yeah.
But it's like, that's not what you're supposed to do if you're in the public.
They said they're pulling out their phones and like firing up YouTube and playing music and that kind of stuff. That'll get the whatever.
No, and I know it's one of the hardest jobs in the world, but it's kind of like if you're city council in the city,
you do that walking in.
Your shit's getting broadcast publicly. If you're, oh my God. Again, kudos for whoever did it.
So I know, I do. I guess I'm not surprised that this was hidden up until now. But Chrysler has pulled their Super Bowl ad that was featuring Springsteen. His whole like Uniting America thing, because apparently he got a DUI back in, or got a DUI or got arrested for DUI. He hasn't gone to court yet.
Was it the Chrysler ad or was it for nacho cheese? I don't know.
I don't know. It might have been for a sports
Jeep
drink.
Unity.
I know. I'm just being funny.
Yeah, it might have been a sports drink. Who knows?
There's a YouTube channel I watch going guess the product, and it's all this like the Chrysler ad, all this woke bullshit. And at the end, it's like shoelaces. So it's like, what? And it's like they're trying to do some social commentary, and it's like nacho cheese.
Yeah, just sell your damn product and be done with it.
There's a cool article that I read in the Free Press. Apparently, Cadillac has this is something we've been waiting for or not waiting for, but again, we got a lot of questions. It's Cadillac is a hands-free Super Cruise, and basically went on a 500-mile trip. And basically, here's how it went.
And it was interesting because they compared it to, they're like, they're like, all right, step back, Tesla fanboys. Like it's cute, the assisted driving thing and all that kind of stuff. This is actually truly a hands-free. I think they said it was 250 miles there, 250 back, if I recall correctly.
Well, the thing that I don't get now is they have eyeball tracking. Mm-hmm. So, that means you got to be, you can't look down. You can't look at the radio.
Well, you can't fall asleep. I think that's the biggest one.
What's the point then if I can't fall asleep?
Well, and that was always our from day one with autonomous vehicles. Our joke was always, who doesn't want, go home car, I'm drunk.
Right.
And then just curl up in the back seat and you wake up in your garage.
Go home drunk, I'm car.
Right.
So I don't want it. Maybe this guy wants it. If you can see, here's the thing: if the cars can talk, and it stops an inevitable crash from happening, mm-hmm. I think that's about the extent that I want it. Yeah, I don't want that bullshit in my wife's car that like steers me when I don't turn the turn signal on, and I don't want that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you were yelling about that one.
It was hot trash. But like I said, if the cars can talk to each other and stop something like that from happening, or stop a truck driver from falling asleep, like by all means,
right. Are you going to rush out and try a bio-printed ribeye?
I would try it. I'm curious.
Just order a salad.
I'm not sure. I'm really not, like, this is one of those things that like just makes me skeptical. Like, like the whole concept, like I've always said, the whole concept behind like teleporters, like I don't like them because, okay, no, it's not like you are not here and then there. You are destroyed here and then reassembled there by whatever's floating. So like this isn't like it's okay. It's technically food, but it's not food because it's food like it's a McRib is kind of like but worse.
It's a hot dog in steak form.
It's made from the same material that a steak is made from.
That's not a marketing slogan, Randy. That's like that. It's made from the same stuff that a steak is made from. Try our steak. No.
Why don't you just order steak? Tastes just like sausage. Order the goddamn sausage.
Right. And I do. I feel I feel a little remiss. I have been saying for quite some time now that I do. I want to go to the Burger King that's around the corner by my house, and I want to tell them that I want an Impossible Whopper and a Whopper, and they have to put them in the same containers so that I don't know which is which. And then but like put like a 1 and a 2 on it, like just something so that after I've eaten them, or at least after I've tried them, I can call and go, okay, which was which?
And then you say, this tastes like shit. People pay money for this.
And then start making them with weed clippings.
But again, if you're a like I'm all down with being a vegetarian. What's wrong with ordering eggplant parm?
But then order your broccoli and be good with it. Like you don't need sausage. You don't need. Yeah,
this honestly looks like the most unappetizing. It looks disgusting.
It looked weird.
It looks like square like poo steak with like charburns on it. It looks gross. Yeah. It looks disgusting.
A little bit, yeah.
1021, Dave. No, it does not.
Stamp in the stream, but yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be lining up for it anytime soon.
Are we going to talk about the one of the dumbest things? It's like the Real World reunion. How old is Eric Nees right now?
I did not even put that on my list to talk about.
Was that Randy that did that?
Yeah,
I'm going to go get some ice. You can talk about because I honestly never watched the show.
I didn't watch this season. I was a little too young for this season. But Real World New York is coming back to the Paramount Plus.
Oh, Eric Nees is older than me. He's 49.
Did you watch this?
Yeah, I watched the first 5 or 6 seasons. I think the last season I watched the Real World was like Puck, I want to say.
Okay, yeah. I think the very first, the only season I remember watching was New Orleans, the first New Orleans.
Yeah, I watched New Orleans, the one with the Miz from the wrestling. Because I remember when he came into wrestling, I remember him talking about wrestling.
But yeah, the same cast from the original, the first season of the Real World, going back to the same loft in New York, and you can watch it on Paramount Plus, which is going to replace the CBS All Access app.
And they're going to be talking about arthritis pills and their bad knees, and their surgeries, and they're 49. That's insane.
Yeah.
He used to do he was the worst TV host on there because they had The Grind, which was like the MTV new dance show. Do you remember that?
Oh God, yeah.
He's like, it's Eric Nees from The Grind. It's my favorite song. And it's like Robin S. Show Me Love. It's like every week. It was like the worst, like literally the worst. There was I have to send this to you guys. It was a some 1980s dance show, and it couldn't have exemplified a worse 80s dance show than this one.
Was it Club MTV?
No, it was like they tried way too hard to dance. It was like someone dug out some old VHS tape, and they were playing like The Cure, and it was like, yeah, I know.
So it was 120 minutes.
Like why? No, it was like Why Can't I Be You? But it was like a very diverse crowd of people that would not like The Cure. You're watching this and everyone's like just got dressed from merry-go-round, Z Cavaricis and rayon.
Oh my God. Oh, and also speaking of Randy links, Randy, I what the hell is Radio Garden? Why? What is that?
It's just a map of streaming radio stations all around the world. So you can listen to something in France, or you can listen to, I found the trance station broadcasting out of Mount Clemens.
Oh, okay. I had no idea what that was.
Every green dot on this map is a internet stream. So I'm listening to Transtopia from a dude from Mount Clemens has a streaming radio service.
There's not that many. I'm looking at the state of Michigan. There's maybe 20.
Yeah, it's the ones that have internet version of their stream. So like WCFX from Clare, or you can listen to WHMI from Howell, or some internet only stations. So yeah, it's just every green dot on this map is
it's the
internet
there's
origin station with the internet.
The Avondale High School, my cousin O radio station, and then Avondale Auburn Hills has so it's basically the two high schools, and then I see one in Pontiac, The Music Shop with a K.
Yeah,
nice.
So I thought it was pretty cool little visualization and a way to find some interesting music that you might not have heard.
I'll click around and play with it then. So Bob, I know you're, the next time you go traveling with Bo, you're going to bring have her bring large amounts of cash for you.
Yes. in her tampons, because it's usually what we do.
$60,000. And I mean, I guess.
Hold on. So let me walk through this. If you fly internationally, you can't take more than 10. You got to claim 10 grand.
Yep.
Someone needed 60,000. So then they put 60,000 in their tampons and they got caught.
Wouldn't it have been easier to buy 6 tickets, have 6 people,
or do a wire transfer,
or FedEx it in a shoebox to the hotel you're going to?
And a lot of cash businesses that aren't looking for wire transfers, Randy. That's not how that works.
But how did you get caught?
I believe it was the TSA that did a search, if I recall correctly, and noticed something amiss and started, pardon the pun, digging. And found.
You go through tampon boxes now?
Hey, did I? I mean, I would assume it something like that would show up on an X-ray.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put them in my shoes. They can go near those. My dock shoes
and would repel the X-rays. So yeah, that'd be great.
Right.
You're totally safe that way.
But then they seized it, though. So that's the thing I don't get. Now they don't get their money back?
No. Nope, that's not how that works.
So stupid.
Oh yeah. So what is your take on schools now teaching what is and is not a credible media source? I was kind of half expecting your head to explode on this one.
No, because then I read it again, and then it wasn't as bad as I initially thought. But again, we talked about this earlier in the show where, I show you the number 10, and then 10 people are going to have 10 different stories. Who's right and who's wrong? There is no wrong. There is no right. It's your interpretation of a number, right? So you can't say, no, this is right and that's wrong. I remember when we had this argument a long time ago where you're like, Obama cut the deficit in half. And I go, yeah, he doubled the debt. Neither one of us were wrong. Yeah. We were taking two different numbers and interpreting them into our own little narrative different ways, but we weren't wrong. So how do you teach which one's right and which one's wrong? You can't.
Well, and honestly, I think the point of this is basically staying away from the troll farms and the fake news sites and being able to recognize what is and is not a credible news report.
Well, this statistic in the article says 82% of middle school students can't tell the difference between an ad and a news story.
Well, the news is all op-ed. News is all op-ed these days.
Again, South Park episode. Just
yeah. If you look at what's going on, we read an article by a woman earlier today who's notorious for 180 articles. They do them side by side, and it's this story, then that story, and they're all opinion, right? So, and that's the problem is people take opinion and op-ed as news. There is no news anymore. Like CNN, it's all op-ed. Fox News, all op-ed. You're like,
I mean, AP is pretty down the middle.
That's it though.
Yeah,
I want they need their own. They need their own TV station. But I mean, like you have
they actually have a streaming station that I watch all the time.
But like, they have like
but go figure, they're not op-ed, and so they don't get all the clickety clicks, and so it's not like the high budget CNN sets and all that other or MSNBC sets or Fox News sets or any of that shit.
Right. And Facebook and everybody wants to clickety click. So what are they going to steer you towards? There was the documentary that talked about if you sit on Facebook long enough, you're going to end up in a conspiracy group because that's what they want you to do because you spend more time there because you're like, oh my God, this shit's crazy.
Dude, that was Fred. That was
Fred. That was Fred. Okay.
Yeah, that was Fred. That was like, wow, you were paying attention. I'm impressed.
I listened to every word that man says.
That was even late in the show.
No, it was only that one I fell asleep. It was like 1 a.m. I'm like, dude.
Oh,
there was one story that really pissed me off. The story from Gizmodo, get ready for your streaming services to merge. So they're talking about how NBC's might, team up Peacock with the new Paramount Plus. You know what we had 6 years ago with all of the media services merged? We had Hulu.
Yeah.
You went to Netflix for originals and you went to Hulu for everything else and then everybody split into their own things and now they're talking about going back into something else separate.
Randy, did you ever see there's an infographic on YouTube about when they split up Ma Bell?
Yes.
And did we talk about this in last week's show? And then they split up Ma Bell. They created the RBox and the CLEX, right? RBox are the regional bells. CLEX are the competitive local exchange carriers. Yep. Then they made the competitive local exchange carriers illegal or they changed something so they don't get paid. And then it all went back to Ma Bell owning everything.
Uh-huh.
And that's what you're looking at here is like, you're splitting them up and then they're, getting them and they're all going to buy each other, whoever's the bigger ones. And it's
whoever has the highest stock value that day will buy the others. Yeah.
All I want to know is if you're buying Paramount Plus, I really want to have a talk with you.
I have it for Star Trek.
That's fair. All right.
You were going very Animal House there. A pledge pin. Do you have Paramount?
No, like CBS Interactive. No, like no, I can get it if it's like
okay. The only reason why I signed up for the CBS. So here's my thing. I am always like, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not getting another app. I'm not getting another streaming service. I'm not. And then somebody goes, oh, but this is on that one. And then I go, all right, well, I'll take a look. And then it's like, oh, well, you can sign in for it for free with your Comcast account. Damn it. Fine. Like that's, yeah.
Well, no, that's HBO Max. I wouldn't have it if I didn't have it.
I have HBO through my AT&T cell phone plan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, so yeah, Disney Plus was, but that was the thing. Like, I think we had talked about this when this happened. Because my
Verizon,
my free year through Verizon finally ended. And so the 3-year plan that I bought at a super cheap price back when it was first announced finally kicked in.
Well, that reminds me, I got to cancel Red Zone because I always pay for Red Zone all year and I'll use it for 4 months.
Gotcha. Did you finally remember to cancel your YouTube subscription?
Oh, I did that a long time ago. And I canceled my YouTube. There's something else I canceled that I remembered. Anyway, yeah.
It's a thing. Actually, the one story I'm kind of curious to see how this throwdown between Google and Demilogic is going to go, because I guess they were producing what was probably one of the most anticipated titles for the Stadia gaming platform, and I guess things went a little bit sideways.
Relogic,
sorry. Things went a little bit sideways, and one of the founders woke up one morning to find his Google Drive, Google account, YouTube channel, Google Docs, Google everything that he had like 15 years worth of shit in, gone.
Yeah, apparently Google's lack of transparency and horrible customer service came back to bite them in the butt.
Go figure. And so he took to Twitter and said, well, I guess this is your way of burning a bridge. Consider it burned.
Google has customer service.
Yeah, exactly.
Could you imagine though? We've been on Gmail since minute one. You went to Dropbox. I use Drive. But if that shit was all gone tomorrow,
oh, that would be bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I use Dropbox like a secondary backup system.
I use Google Drive for it. I bought the premium plan.
The premium plan on Paramount Plus.
So yeah, if you're excited for Terraria to come to Stadia,
no,
pick a different platform.
Yeah.
I got knee deep into Call of Duty. I regret doing that, even though I've had more fun gaming over the last 3 months than I have in my entire life.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? We good?
No, We'll wrap things up. Episode 387 of the one and only IT and the D Show. I'd like to thank Michelle Gilbert for her time from Comcast. Appreciate Randy's got the links up on Twitter for Internet Essentials. If you know part of a school district, if you know anyone that needs help getting kids access to the internet for very cheap, $10 a month cheap, definitely spread that word.
Get the info out there. Yep.
Yeah, one of the cooler things that we like to promote. So, hey, on behalf of Bob, Dave, and Randy, do us all a favor. Drink up your drinks. Get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful or don't. Beat it.
See you guys.